Hello everyone, welcome to Million Studies. In our last video, we have seen how to create a data frame when we have list of employee details, or it could be any details, right? And also we created a data frame when we have a data in the dictionary format, right? And previous to that video, we have already solved one problem with help of Pandas. There we will be getting, we had data in file format, right? And we had read that file and we have created data frame, and then we found those employee details whose salaries are greater than their managers, right? And that is the first question we solved in Pandas, right? Now in today's video we are going to see how to add a column, or how to drop a column, or how can we update a column in any data frame. Okay, now you can see here, this is the data frame, right? This one we last created, right? I hope you remember. Okay, now you can see here, this is the employees df data frame, right? Now if we want to add one more column, what we have to do, so we have to define it. So what is the column name that you want to define? You should mention it. So how we are going to call it? See here, this is the data frame, right? So now whatever the column that you want to add, you have to mention it. Okay, so you should keep that in single quote. Okay, whatever the name that you want to add, so you have to give age, for example. Okay, so this is how we should add. So if I execute this query, you can see how it is going to return. It is returning some error. Why? Age is not a column, because of, if you call like this, if there is a column is existing already, then only it will return. For example, if I add empid, it will return the data, right? You can see it, right? But if we add age, it is not returning any data, it is returning error, right? Because of this age column is not existing. Okay, so we are going to add it, right? So you have to add one more value, or you can use any value. Okay, if you are assigning a value, means for this column in this data frame, this value will be assigned for all records. Now you can see this got executed. Now if I execute this employee details, now you can see it, right? So this age column got all 30. Clear? This is how we are going to add any column. For example, even if you want to add one more column, now if you try to call employees of age, you can see why you are getting this one, because of, okay, I'm just clicking mistake on. Okay, now you can see it, right? So if you call this a column, it is returning data. Even if you call another column, like what is another column? It could be location or something. Okay, location will try. Okay, now you can see it will return error, because of that location column in this data frame not existing. Okay, now even if you want to add that location column, you have to mention. So whenever you just mentioning it, you have to assign any value for this column, right? So that it will add a column to this data frame. What is that column name? That is location. Okay, now you can see here, yeah, now you can see it got executed. Now if I execute this query, you can see it, right? So we are also added location column. This is how we can add any column. Okay, now if you want to drop any particular column, how can you drop? Let's see here, employees df drop. So you have to call data frame dot drop, whatever the column name that you want to drop, you have to mention it. Okay, now drop off what you want to drop, location, for example. Okay, so if you execute like this, it will return some error. Let's see that also. You can see the error. What is the error? Location not found in any access. So we should mention, so you want to delete a particular record or column, right? So we should mention it. Okay, so if I want to delete a particular column, then we have to mention access equal to 1. Okay, now you can see we got deleted, right? I mean, this location column got deleted. Okay, now if I look back, I mean, if I execute again employees underscore df, it will return again the same. I mean, location data will come. You can see why? Because of we are just dropping the location column, but we are not replacing that into this data frame, right? So in order to do that, you have to keep in place equal to true. Okay, so that it will reflect. Otherwise you can assign this entire to any variable. Okay, there is two options. Either you should replace, I mean, either you should place in place equal to true, or you should assign up this one to any other variable. Okay, now I'm going to applying employee updated. Okay, updated. Now you can see it. So if I call it emp updated, you can see we are not getting it, right? But if we execute this again, we will get location. Clear? For now, I'm going to do one more method, that is df.drop of location. Okay, we have to mention access equal to 1, and also in place equal to true. Okay, so as and when if I place in place equal to true, the whatever the action that is going to take place here, that will reflect into this employee df, whatever the data frame that you are going to consider. Okay, now if I execute this query, if I call it Now we don't get location. Now you can see it, right? So this is how we can drop any column. Here it is location. Even if you want to drop age also, you can drop it, no problem. Any column if you want, you can drop it. Okay. Now this is how we will drop a column. Now one more, that is updated, right? So in order to update any column, we have to mention it. For example, employees df of age column is there, right? Now you can see all are 30, right? If I assign different value like 45, now you can see all are assigned to this one. Now you can see employees underscore df, all values got changed, right? Even if you want to update anything, for example, employees underscore df of either manager IDs, I'm going to change that to 8. Okay, but executed employees underscore df, you can see all values got updated, right? So this is how we can update it. But there could be some situation, right? So this, if this condition, for example, if department equal to data, then we have to return different salaries. Or if department IT, then we have to apply different, right? So that, I mean, we call them in SQL like conditional statements, right? So if one particular column value is this, then we have to add one more column as this. This is how we can do it. Let's see. For example, okay, let's see here. I'm just considering salary column. If the salary is greater than 40,000, we consider the salary range as high level salary or medium level salary. Okay, I mean, I'm going to add a column on the basis of conditions. I mean, updating the data only, right? Updating means adding a column, or else if you want to change, like for example, okay, okay, for now, just see here, adding a column on conditional basis. Okay, how we are going to do is, let's see here. I mean, I'm going to add one more column as salary range column on the basis of their salaries. Okay, for that, I'm going to create updated function. I'm just going to create, this is a function of any data frame. Okay, now for how can you define a function? You have to use define, right? You have to use define, so that this comes as in different color. Now you can see we are creating these, we call it as user defined functions. Okay, what we are doing, this is just a function name. You can give any name. Define function of this is a data frame. It could be, you can give any name. This is working as a data frame. Okay, now what we are doing now in this database, if any particular column is this, then we have to return any other value for different columns. Okay, now what we are doing, data frame, I mean, from this data frame, whatever the name that you are going to give, you have to call it. Okay, so in this data frame, if salary is greater than any value, I'm just considering 40,000. Okay, so we have to return high or medium level. Okay, now this is condition, right? So when you are mentioning a condition, you should keep a if class, right? Otherwise we cannot. So if of this condition is true, then only we have to return this value, right? Otherwise, if you forget to mention if also, it will return error. So we are checking a condition, that is if condition. Okay, now again, else if. Okay, else if of data underscore salary, if the salary is less than 40,000, then we have to return low level. Okay, else return high level. Okay, this is how we just assigned a function, right? If in this data frame, it could be anything. In this data frame, if that data frame, in that data frame, this is the column. If that particular column value is greater than this value, then we have to return this one. Okay, now all these things we are doing to add a column on the basis of any particular column. I mean, there is many conditions are there. You can assign any condition. Okay, so our requirement is to add a particular column, and those values should be on the basis of any other column. Okay, here I'm adding salary range column on the basis of their salaries. How can we add it? Now you can see, I already told you to add a column, we have to use employee. I mean, whatever the data frame that you're going to add, you have to give any particular name, right? Salary range. Okay. How we are going to do this? So we have to give employees df apply is a function. Now what we are going to apply, I mean, sorry, here what you are going to do, apply this function to this employee df, I mean this df, right? So what we are doing, so if we execute this query, I mean this one, here I'm just using updated, calling the function. Okay, now you can see when it is called, it is going to do all this operation. All these operations will be performed in this particular call. Clear? Now if I try to execute this query, it will return some errors. What is this error? You can see salary column is not mentioning, I think. Okay, now you can see it is asking for we are checking a particular column, right? And we are adding one more column. We should mention the access. So is that a column or not? You don't know, right? So we have to mention access equal to 1. Now it got executed, right? So this column will be added to this data frame by applying all these conditions in this function. Okay, we are adding, we are applying this function to this data frame, adding of this column. Now you can see, if I execute this query, we are getting it, right? So we are getting another column as on the basis of different column. Okay, this is how we can add a column on the basis of another column. With there could be many conditions we can consider in real world scenarios. Okay, for example, even if you want to update a salary, you can do it. Employees df of salary equal to, how can we update it? Employees df of salary, you have to, you can see 1.1. Now you can see if I call it, all values got changed, right? Okay, this is how we can add, we can update. I hope you understood how to add a column, how to drop a column, and how to update a column, and how to add a column on the basis of another column with there could be many conditions. Okay, I hope you understood all these things. Thanks for watching.